Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider subscribe, and if you do consider drop your likes on the current video as well. So currently some transfer rumours are currently going on in the media. I'm currently going to be updating you with today on this current video as well. There's quite lots to talk about as I said, but the first topic the development I'm going to give you an update on is in relation to Philippe Coutinho, because in the last couple of days especially, you know, I've been giving you an update on it on a regular basis in relation to Philippe Coutinho. So there was a narrative going on about this in the January transfer window that, you know, Manchester United had expressed an interest in Philippe Coutinho, you know, considering that he's had a difficult time, you know, with Barcelona. You know, he's been there just over a year, of course, but now reports coming out saying that he's indicated that he wants to make a return to the Premier League. Philippe Coutinho, after he's had a very, very difficult time, you know, with Barcelona. You know, he's been there just over a year, of course, but he's really struggled, you know, to replicate the form, you know, that he did at Liverpool, because, you know, he had 5 great years with Liverpool, but now he's at Barcelona. He's been there just over a year. Barcelona paid £142 million from Liverpool as well, January of last year, of course, as well. So he's been there now about 14 months, but he's really, really struggled for form. You know, he's struggled to get in the team often. You know, he's lacked game time as well. So this is why there has been rumours of him potentially, you know, leaving Barcelona this summer as well. But there was a narrative going on about back in the January transfer window, you know, that Manchester United were interested in Coutinho. Now, reports do say that Coutinho himself has spoken to some Manchester United players, you know, regarding a summer move to Old Trafford. Reportedly, he will be available, I think, for around £100 million or something like that as well. But he is mainly, you know, a good player, and do you think he'd be a good addition, you know, to our team? You know, if he was to come to Old Trafford in the summer, because obviously, you know, he had 5 great years, you know, when he was at Liverpool. You know, Philippe Coutinho was really, really good when he was at Liverpool. You know, he's also, you know, played for Espanyol in the past. He was on loan, I think, with Espanyol, but he actually began his senior career with Inter Milan. He began his senior career with Inter Milan as well, did Philippe Coutinho. But there's been reports coming out saying that he's spoken to Manchester United players regarding a summer move to Old Trafford, and I have been updating you on a regular basis about it, especially in the last. What are you doing?
Tomorrow, we're off at bank.
All right.
And I know then exactly what's been going on.
All right.
Right, we're going up tomorrow
All
morning.
right.
Well, we're going up at dinner time, off to the Flatfest.
All right.
We're going up about 12 o'clock.
All right.
We've got to get all this sorted out, because, you know, it's no joke, this is serious.
All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so there has been a narrative going on about in the last couple of days as well in relation to Coutinho, but he has still got a long contract with Barcelona as well. But, you know, there has been a lot of reports coming out about him in the last couple of days, but mainly he's an attacking mid. He can also play as a winger as well, can Coutinho, and he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's still in his mid-20s, you know, he's 26 years of age, and he has got some good physical attributes. But as I did currently say, guys, you know, could he potentially, you know, come to Old Trafford in the summer? But there was a narrative, you know, going on about, you know, back in the January transfer window as well. But I think he feels unsettled with Barcelona, and I think he actually does want to leave. He's obviously the third most expensive player, because Barcelona paid £142 million for him. Obviously, he's the third most expensive player, you know, behind Neymar and Mbappe is Coutinho as well. But mainly he's an attacking mid. But obviously, we know that investment is needed to Manchester United in the summer. Of course, you know, with us suffering our first Premier League defeat, you know, yesterday, I'm still very, very convinced, you know, that Solskjaer will get the job as Manchester United manager on a full-time basis, of course, as well. But we know that investment is needed in the summer. Of course, it is essential that we do get Champions League, of course, for next season. Obviously, you know, so we can have a more of a competitive, you know, summer transfer window, of course. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself will, you know, will have his say on our transfers in the summer, of course, as well, because it is likely that he will get the job as Manchester United manager on a full-time basis. I think we're going to get around a £200 million spending spree to spend in the summer. It did report. Obviously, I think we are still looking to hire a director of football to come in, but obviously we do expect departures in the summer as well. So obviously we're going to need replaced, because obviously it is a lot of the experienced players, you know, that are causing the problems at the moment. And don't forget, you know, Solskjaer's done a great job, you know, considering, you know, we've had a lot of injuries, considering that we didn't invest in the January transfer window as well. But I'm still, you know, got a lot of confidence in Solskjaer. I still think, you know, he can elevate this team forward. He can, you know, elevate this team forward, and I think he can get us, being back, to being a competitive elite level football club, can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, and do believe, he can start winning trophies as Manchester United, or at least, being up there competing. But we are aware that new additions are needed, to come into the club in the summer as well. But he's done a terrific job. You can't criticise him. He's got us to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. He's got us to the last 8 of the Champions League as well. So he has done a really, really good job, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said. But we are aware that investment is needed. I've already identified, the areas, where obviously, Manchester United, of course, need to strengthen up as well. But yeah, for me, Solskjaer's the right man for Manchester United, of course. He'll have his say on our transfer plans in the summer as well. So we have potentially got a board that can invest of, of who, Solskjaer wants to recommend to come into the club in the summer. Solskjaer himself has been in discussions with the Manchester United board regularly of what players should stay and what players should go in the summer. Obviously, there's still contract renewals to sort out as well in the process. But reports have been coming out about Philippe Coutinho. He is linked with a move to Old Trafford. Probably Manchester United have to pay around £100 million to get him in the summer. But reports are coming out saying that reportedly he wants to make a return to the Premier League after he's endured a very, very difficult time at Barcelona, and he's been there just over the year, of course. So is Coutinho the solution for Manchester United problems? And that is the big question. Probably a lot of United fans wouldn't want him because mainly he's an attacking mid, and we don't really need an attacking mid. I think we need a winger, we need a central defender without a shadow of a doubt as well. But there has been a lot of rumours going on about it. He's been in contact with the Manchester United players regarding an Old Trafford move, so there has been a lot of reports going on about that as well. But for me, Solskjaer is definitely the right man for Manchester United. I think his progression as a Manchester United manager, he's done really, really well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and to be quite honest with you, because obviously it was disappointing to see our 100% winning record away from home, come to an end yesterday, with that defeat to Arsenal. I obviously give you my analysis of the game as well. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out himself, and he had his say on the actual game. And from Solskjaer's perspective, he said we didn't deserve to lose the game. He did say it was a good performance for Manchester United. Obviously, he said the result was disappointing, but as I did say, he would reflect on the big chances Manchester United had, and he was speaking about the big chances Manchester United had in the game. We had 3 big chances from Romelu Lukaku, so I think we created about 5 big chances in that game, to be quite honest with you. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will still get the job as Manchester United manager, of course, as well. Reports did say was it sometime last week, as I did update that Manchester United, I think it's today or later on in the week, Manchester United are set to have contract negotiations with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, regarding giving the job on a full-time basis. Reports do say Manchester United will pay a pay package of around £6 million to Mould, to give Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis. I think it did reportedly say his contract is going to be a 4-year contract worth around 30 million, of course. I think it did say there's bonuses could be involved as well, as it did currently mention. This is probably to see if he wins any silverware out, and it did say there will be bonuses involved. It's a 4-year deal worth 30 million. His annual salary is 7.5 million, so he's obviously happy to accept a less wage package than currently Jose Mourinho, because Jose Mourinho was on 15 million a year. Solskjaer will be on 7.5 million a year, so Solskjaer's getting half of Jose Mourinho's wages as well, and it is going to be a 4-year deal. But he's getting a huge pay rise compared to what he was on at Mould, because he was only on £400,000 a year at Mould as well, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So it's looking likely he'll get the job on a full-time basis. At the moment, we've obviously paid a fee to Mould of around 1.8 million, of course, to give it to obviously get him on a temporary basis. And so far, we've done really, really well, especially away from home. We've looked really, really good. We've actually been better away from home than we have been at home, to be quite honest with you. We've still won 14 out of 18 in all competitions. Of course, we've had 2 draws, 2 defeats in all competitions as well, but we've only lost 1 in the league, as I currently have said, and we have still won 9 away from home. We have still won 10, I think, is it 10 in the league? He's still 10 in the league now, is it, as well? And Solskjaer's done really, really well. He made history in the Champions League with that fantastic win against PSG, made history in the Premier League as well. So, you can't criticise him, to be quite honest with you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So, and he did confirm his contractual situation as well, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with his former club Mould used to be. I did say his contract with his former club Mould had expired, and this is what, Solskjaer was currently explaining, because obviously Solskjaer believes that obviously he can't have 2 contracts. From Mould's perspective, they said he was still under contract with Mould until 2021, because this got announced before, a couple of weeks before actually Solskjaer had got appointed as Manchester United manager. Mould had announced a couple of weeks before that he'd agreed a new 3-year deal with Mould, and this is what, basically Mould said as well. But I think he's the right man for Manchester United. It's good that he's got a lot of belief in the young players as well. I do really, really like as well. He's not reluctant, to give the young players a chance. He's got the players expressing themselves, got them enjoying playing football again, and he's giving everybody the chance as well, which is very, very good indeed. But one defeat is not going to change my opinions. I think Solskjaer is definitely the man for Manchester United. And I know at the moment he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree in terms of winning any major honours but I think that is to come in the future. If we can get some players in the summer, and obviously the tester will be for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer next season. Because when he does get the job on a full-time basis, which looks really, really likely now, because it's a full season for him next season, so that will be the tester for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But as I did say, we do expect departures in the summer as well. But yeah, I was very, very disappointed, with the game yesterday, to be quite honest, because as I did say in the preview, in the Arsenal Manchester United preview, didn't I? I made it clear, and I did say, it could be crucial, for our top four ambitions, because there's quite a few teams, now going for that top four, of course, as well. I didn't say, though, it would be fully decisive of obviously who finishes in the top four at the end of the season, but it could play a big part in it as well. And, Arsenal did win the game by 2-0. Solskjaer said we didn't deserve to lose and that. And, we did have our chances in that game. And don't forget, we had 7 players out, of course, through injury as well. Manchester United, we saw obviously Matic come back in. Martial came on later on in the second half as well. Herrera was initially set to return, but Herrera still got a hamstring injury. But I think some of the injuries we've got now, I think, some of them are set to return for the Wolves game on Saturday as well, in the FA Cup quarter-final. But I thought the first 25 minutes, we was on the back foot, to be quite honest, we looked very, very ineffective in midfield. Matic had just come back from injury. Matic was very, very poor, to be quite honest with you. To be quite fair, Lukaku had a good game, because Lukaku had big chances in the game. And I think, as I did say in relation to Romelu Lukaku, I've been very, very impressed with Lukaku. He's been in really, really good form as Romelu Lukaku, and I have been very, very happy with Romelu Lukaku indeed. I think his performances have been fantastic, especially most recently. He's been in good goal scoring form as Romelu Lukaku, and I think he looks much, much better, when he's alongside Rashford, because obviously Lukaku looks better, when he's getting that support up front. Rashford was obviously, giving that support, because when he's on his own, he's not reliable enough, to make all them sprints and get them runs in behind. But when he's got someone supporting him like Rashford, I think he performs better. So I think they had a good partnership, Lukaku and Marcus Rashford. And, Lukaku was unlucky, not to score in that game yesterday. I just think, he bottles it against the big teams, as we all know. He's well known for it, is Romelu Lukaku. Overall, he's still got a very, very good pedigree in the Premier League as Romelu Lukaku. He still scored 27 goals in his first season at Manchester United in all competitions as well, did Romelu Lukaku. There has been reports that Manchester United, could sell him in the summer. We'll obviously look to recruit the initial £75 million we paid for him, of course, if we do decide to sell him in the summer as well. But I think his performances have really improved, since Solskjaer's come in. His forms are being rejuvenated as well. So I thought he was the best player on the pitch for Manchester United yesterday. I thought Smalling, had a really, really poor game yesterday, to quite honest with you. Since he's mainly, recovered from injury, obviously Solskjaer has, gone with obviously Smalling and Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. It's quite fair, they have been blending in very, very well together. They're showing that they can play out from the back, but I don't think Smalling was too good yesterday. I thought Arsenal were on the front foot, in the first 25 minutes, we looked very, very slow in the midfield. I thought we was getting exposed at the back far too easily, with the pace of Aubameyang and Lacazette, and Arsenal were having chances in that first 20 to 25 minutes, but De Gea didn't really have to produce like any world-class saves, but Arsenal were sustaining attacks. They were first to every ball, they were winning them second balls as well, they were winning them tackles with Arsenal, they were passing the ball well, they were playing with a high tempo, and obviously Unai game plan was obviously, his game plan was, to press us high up the pitch, and, and that actually happened in the first 25 minutes. It was a shame De Gea didn't do better, with the Xhaka shot, to be quite honest with you, to be quite honest, I think, he wrong-footed De Gea, and that's why it went into net. I think it did swirl that shot as well. And, to be quite fair, Arsenal sustained attacks, they maintained, a lot of pressure in the first 20 to 25 minutes of the game. But Ozil had a really, really good game for Arsenal, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. He had a really, really good game in that attacking midfield position. Aubameyang and Lacazette, I think, are a fantastic partnership as well for Arsenal. Look very, very effective, together, do Aubameyang and Lacazette, and, them two played really, really well. But to quite honestly, I thought, both forwards of both both teams, you know, played really, really well. I thought Rashford played well for us. Not his best, but I thought he played quite well. Lukaku played well, Aubameyang played well, and Lacazette played well. Xhaka was immense in that midfield as well. I thought Xhaka played really, really well in the game, to quite honest with you. Niles had a really, really good game for Arsenal. But I think the majority of the players for Arsenal, you know, played really, really well. Aaron Ramsey played well as well. Arsenal will miss him, you know, Arsenal will miss Ramsey, you know, when he goes in the summer, you know, to be quite honest, because he's been a good long servant for Arsenal. You know, this is his 11th season now with Arsenal's is Aaron Ramsey's of course. Obviously, he's going to Juventus in the summer on the free transfer, but he's going to be the highest British player playing. He's going to get wages of around £400,000 a week, so he's going to be the second highest paid player behind Cristiano Ronaldo as well. And I do think he'll fit in the Juventus team very, very well, but he's still a very, very good box-to-box midfielder. And I think, you know, Arsenal have given him a good standing ovation, and he's been a very, very good servant, you know, to Arsenal. You know, it's his 11th season now with Arsenal. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions as well, and I think he scored like 60 odd goals or something like that as well. So Arsenal are really, really going to miss him. In relation to Ozil, you know, there was strong speculation of Ozil leaving in January, of course, and Umremme did basically say he was looking, you know, to raise some funds, you know, for Mesut Ozil and all that. And obviously for the course of this season, you know, he's been really struggling to get in the team. You know, he's had quite a few injuries as well. But as most recent, you know, Ozil has got himself back in the team, and he didn't want to leave Arsenal anyway. He loves Arsenal. He wants to remain loyal to Arsenal as well. I think he's now getting Umremme's trust. This is why Ozil, you know, is playing more. He's been playing a lot more recently as Mesut Ozil in the team as well. And Arsenal still know how much of a central player he is. He is aging up, of course. He's age 30 or 31 now as well. But overall, he's had a good playing career at the moment as Mesut Ozil. As I said, this is his 6th season now. Is it with Arsenal as well? But there were reports about him leaving in January as well. But Arsenal, you know, still investment is definitely, you know, needed into their team, you know, without a shadow of a doubt. It's only Umremme's first season, you know, he recommended 5 players to come in last summer, you know, to Arsenal as well. But he's still in the process of rebuilding his Umremme as well, because it's only his first season. You know, they went 22 games unbeaten earlier on in the season as well. And, you know, they've been pretty poor away from home this season. Defensively, they've got issues, but I think, you know, at the Emirates this season, you know, it's been like a fortress as the Emirates Stadium this season, you know, especially in the Premier League, because they've only had one defeat at the Emirates in the Premier League this season, and that was to Manchester City, of course, at the start of the season as well. So from my point of view as a Man United fan, we was confident going into the game, you know, to quite honest with you, but we obviously got obviously think as well, you know, that Arsenal's home form, you know, was very, very good and all that as well. And I thought after 25 minutes, I thought we grew into the game, you know, to be quite honest with you. You know, we did have chances of his own. Matic had a poor game, you know, Fred hit the post as well, but Fred, you know, is very, very poor. And I don't know, to be quite honest with you, know, if he's a long-term solution, you know, for Manchester United, because he's really, really struggled, you know, to make an impact as well. And then the second half came, you know, to quite honest. So I thought we started the second half, you know, well in the first 10 to 15 minutes. I thought, you know, we started well in the second half, to quite honest with you. Lukaku had a big chance at the start of the second half as well, which, you know, Lukaku should have put away as well. I think Rashford had a couple of chances of his own as well, you know, to be quite honest with you. And then basically in the game, you know, obviously, you know, we saw Anthony Martial come on the game. He didn't really do much when he came on. You know, Greenwood also came on as well, making his second appearance for Manchester United in the first team. And you know, I thought that penalty was harsh, to be quite honest. I think Lacazette, you know, went down far too easily. Fred didn't really touch him, to quite honest. So a lot of people talking, saying, you know, it was a soft penalty in that, and you know, Aubameyang had put the penalty away, and that was 2-0. And then after that, you know, Manchester United had a mountain to climb as well. But I'd say Arsenal just shaded it over the course of the 90 minutes in balance of the play and all that. But we did have our moments in that game as well. So don't forget, you know, we still had 7 players out in that game as well. Matic had a really, really poor game. Fred had a poor game. Smalling wasn't that good. Lindelof wasn't his best in that game as well. They was getting exposed far too easily, especially in the first 20 to 25 minutes, you know, through the likes of Lacazette and Aubameyang and all that as well. But I thought the majority, you know, their players, you know, put a really, really good performance in, you know, to be quite honest with you. Of course, Arsenal obviously now sit 2 points ahead of us. Of course, we dropped to 5th. Arsenal go 1 point behind Tottenham as well. So it is a missed advantage for me as a Manchester United fan. Definitely top 4 is still on without a shadow of a doubt. But if we can win the Champions League, you know, we don't even need top 4, because obviously we'll get automatically into the Champions League for next season. Arsenal have obviously, you know, they'll have want to get top 4, obviously, you know, succeed in the Europa League. Arsenal have obviously got a 2-goal deficit to turn around against Rennes in the second leg as well. So if Arsenal were to win the Europa League, obviously they'd invest more money in that scenario if they were to get top 4 as well. So obviously Arsenal will want Champions League for next season as well.
I've got rates up on phone. Universal credit. Your job seekers were 364 a month.
Yeah.
In April, 368.
Yeah.
Universal credit's 251 for that month.
Yeah.
So you've lost £120. 251 to last a full month.
Alright.
Instead of 364. So what's the difference between 251 and 364? £120 they've took off your money. So yeah, so you put yourself in it. How sackless is that? They might pay a disability premium. They might not. If they don't, you're on £250 for a month.
Yeah.
Instead of nearly 400.
Alright. But yeah, as I was saying, so we lose that game by 2-0. We do move on to the Wolves game at the weekend coming up. My preview probably will be coming up for that later on in the week. And we know Wolves is going to be a difficult game as well, because they've been in great form. Manchester United against Wolves at Molineux. We know they've been in great form, especially under Nuno Santo as well. And Nuno Santo's done a really, really good job with Wolves, winning the championship with them last season. And he's obviously progressed them to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. They're sitting, 7th, is it now, in the league, and the record against the top teams this season is very, very impressive indeed. So we know Wolves is going to be a very, very difficult game. I think Nuno Santo, Wolves actually got him from Porto. I think he actually began his managerial career with Rio Ave, then he went to Valencia, then he went to Porto, and I think Wolves had got him from Porto as well. So he has done a really, really good job with Wolves. So we know Wolves isn't going to be easy as well. So obviously we want to win the FA Cup. We obviously want to win the Champions League as well, so we can get into the Champions League for next season. Obviously we want to get into that top 4. So if we don't win the Champions League, of course we want to get into that top 4, and hopefully we can succeed in the FA Cup as well. And if we can win FA Cup and Champions League, that would invest a lot more money as well. But as I did currently say, we will see what happens in the summer transfer window as well. But there's obviously been other targets, that currently Manchester United, of course, have been interested in as well, as I've been giving you an update on. Obviously, reports have been coming out in relation to Gareth Bale in the last couple of days, as I did give you an update on that. Reports were coming out from the Dan Bolland, the Spanish publication, saying that reportedly Gareth Bale had reportedly, purchased an house in Manchester, reportedly. Reportedly, it did say he'd allegedly agreed personal terms with a summer move to Old Trafford, reportedly, because I think Real Madrid, from their perspective, Florentino Perez has lost patience with Gareth Bale, and I think Real Madrid do want to actually sanction him off in summer. Recent reports did say in relation to Bale that he was happy in Spain, with Gareth Bale, but there has been rumours that Real Madrid, could get rid of him in the summer as well. I do think Real Madrid will find it hard, to recoup the initial £86 million I paid for him from Tottenham, back in 2013 as well. But I don't want Manchester United to get Gareth Bale anyway. I know he's got a good ratio, of course, and he can still score goals. Can Gareth Bale? He's fallen down the pecking order now. All his silverware he has won has obviously become as a Real Madrid player as well. As I think he's still in the contract, with Real Madrid until 2022 as well. There were reports saying back in 2013 under David Moyes era, we were close to signing Gareth Bale. So we have heard the rumours, for quite a long time now as well, that Manchester United have been interested in Gareth Bale. Reports did say Manchester United are willing to pay 60 odd million. Reportedly Real Madrid want around 100 odd million pounds for Gareth Bale as well. But I wouldn't want him. He's aging up. He's got a record of injuries, so he's injury prone as well as Gareth Bale. Of course, obviously he's well Premier League proven. He served 6 years with Tottenham as well. Did Gareth Bale, when he was younger. He actually began his career with Southampton as well. But it's obviously, I think he's the highest player playing world football. He's on around £650,000 a week as well. So there were reports coming out about that as well. There were reports coming out about that. There were reports coming out about that as well. There were reports coming out about that as well. Sorry, guys. there were reports coming out about that as well. Reports coming out saying that Manchester United, sorry, my phone was going dinger, that reportedly Manchester United could send Chan out on loan for the whole of next season as well. But there has been reports that have just come out in the press as well in relation to Zinedine Zidane. I'm also going to give you an update on. Reports have just confirmed that Zinedine Zidane has returned to management, and he has gone back to Real Madrid as Zinedine Zidane reportedly. He has signed a contract with them until 2022 as well. So he's set to have a second spell with Real Madrid is Zinedine Zidane as well, because reportedly Santiago Solari has been sacked as Real Madrid manager. Well, initially actually was the caretaker manager, and I think last year was it he'd actually signed a new contract with Real Madrid until 2021. But reports do confirm that Zinedine Zidane is now Real Madrid manager again, because he actually stepped down as manager last in May of last year as well. Zinedine Zidane as well. So he was actually managerless for a long time. Obviously, when he was Real Madrid manager, was it from 2016 2018? I think he won three successive Champions League titles as well with Real Madrid. Actually, in his playing career, he actually played for Real Madrid as well. He won trophies. He actually played for Juventus in his playing career as well. Won trophies as well. So he is a really, really good manager, and I think he was actually destined to come and manage in the Premier League, because he's obviously never played in the Premier League. He's never managed in the Premier League as well, but it has confirmed he's agreed a new contract with Real Madrid until 2022, because I did say Real Madrid have had a lot of problems since he actually stepped down as manager as well. So he's agreed a contract with them till 2022, and he's the only coach to win back-to-back Champions League titles as well as Zinedine Zidane. And yeah, so Real Madrid have got him back now, as that's been officially confirmed. So this may change the scenario in relation to Bale and all that. I know we've been hearing the rumours about Isco going on as well, because Isco was finding game time difficult under Santiago Solari. Bale had fell down the pecking order as well. We saw Ronaldo leave Real Madrid last summer as well. He spent about 8 or 9 years with Real Madrid as well. So Real Madrid maybe more consistent now. They've got Zinedine Zidane back, because there wasn't the same team under Santiago Solari. To be quite honest with you, but it's been confirmed that Zinedine Zidane has been appointed as a Real Madrid manager as well. So that's some more news to give you an update on as well. Other transfer rumours we'll give you an update on as well. Obviously, we know Manchester United have obviously been interested in Jadon Sancho as well, and we know there's been talks about him going on in the media as well. It's been going on in the last 3 or 4 weeks now. That Manchester United have been interested in Jadon Sancho. Of course, he's only 18 years of age. Of course, he only got into the England first team last season as well. He only got into the England first team last season as well, did Jadon Sancho. Reports did say that Manchester United were prepared to pay up to £100 million for Jadon Sancho. This potentially, if Manchester United could come to an agreement to get him in the summer, this would reportedly make him the most expensive English footballer ever reportedly, and it would make him our most expensive signing of course as well, because obviously at the moment Paul Pogba is of course our most expensive. Paul Pogba is our most expensive signing at the moment as well. But Jadon Sancho, as I said, I think is a very, very good player who shows that ability to attack, play balls, score goals. And since he's broke into the Borussia Dortmund first team, his performances have been very, very good indeed. And he did say PSG, were reportedly interested. Recent reports did say he was actually willing to snub Manchester United and stay at Borussia Dortmund. But he is a very, very good player. He's only very, very young in his prime. He's only 18 years of age. Is Jadon Sancho as well. But Manchester United have identified him as a possible summer target as well. Dad. What? Yeah. What are you doing?
I've just read up on universal credit. The very least you wait is 5 weeks at the least.
Yeah.
And you drop £120 of what you'll get on drop features on. Instead of getting 360 a month, you get 250. How mental is that? How fucking mental is that? You have to often trade it, you pay a disability premium. If they don't, you have 250 a month, which is about £56 a week. But you could kick yourself, couldn't you?
But yeah, as I was saying in relation to Jadon Sancho, sorry, I just had to go fill my e-cig up. But yeah, Manchester United have identified him as a summer target. It did say reportedly City would reportedly, receive around 15% of the transfer fee, because reportedly it did say City would benefit from it, because I think City I think have got a buyback option on the current player as well. But as I did say, he actually served a couple of years with Manchester City, so he's had experience of playing in English football. He actually never got into the first team with Manchester City, of course. He actually began his youth career with Watford as well, the Jadon Sancho, for a number of years. So he has grown, developed and flourished fantastically well. He has still got a contract with Dortmund till 2022. Borussia Dortmund paid an initial £7-8 million, for Jadon Sancho. So financially, if they were to sell him in the summer, they'd make a huge profit on the play as well. But Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with the players. They don't forget, they did sell Pulisic. Obviously, well, he's been loaned back to Dortmund for the remainder of the season, but he's going to be officially Chelsea playing the new season. The sort of Aubameyang, 58-59 million. The sort of Ousmane Dembele for 105-106 million as well. So they have been known for doing business with their players, Borussia Dortmund, in that aspect as well. So Manchester United have identified him as a summer target. It will cost us in the excess of at least £70 million anyway, to convince, Borussia Dortmund, to do any business, with Jadon Sancho as well. So there's been a lot of talks going on about that, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, that Manchester United have been interested in him as well. But we know that we've still got injuries, of course, as well. We know Herrera's still out with a hamstring injury, of course, as well. Herrera's been very, very good for Manchester United, to be quite honest. He's been doing well in that midfield. He's been fitting in that midfield trio very, very well. As under Herrera, he's been breaking up the play very, very well. But since Solskjaer's took the mantle on at the club, Herrera's performances have improved. He's been playing more regularly in the team, and hopefully somewhere along the line, we can come to an agreement of getting him a new contract. Haven't heard recent news, on relation, to Ander Herrera, of him getting a new contract. Haven't heard recent news about him as well. Jesse Lingard, of course, is still out with a hamstring injury as well. Hopefully, we know the likes of Herrera, Lingard and Mata are possibly back for the Wolves game on Saturday, because Lingard's been very, very consistent for Manchester United. Of course, he's in his mid-20s now, isn't he? Something like that, and he's been very, very good on that right-hand side as Jesse Lingard. So, to be quite honest with you, I've been very, very impressed with his performances, because he creates that width very, very well on the right. He provides pace, he can score goals as well. So he could be back for the Wolves game as well, could Jesse Lingard. Juan Mata, of course, is still out with a hamstring injury as well. He could be possibly back for the Wolves game as well, could Juan Mata. And I know Juan Mata, I know he's lost that yard of pace. He's aging up now, he's Juan Mata, of course, as well. But he's well Premier League proven. He's been in the Premier League a lot of years now, and, he has been a very, very consistent player for Manchester United as Juan Mata as well. But he's got a hamstring injury at the moment as well. I know the likes of Lingard and Mata can play, they both can play on the right, or they can play as an attacking mid. But obviously, when we've mainly been playing, Lingard, which is obviously mainly been first choice in Solskjaer's coming, obviously Lingard has mainly been operating on that right wing, of course, as well. Sanchez, I think he's on his way out of the club, to quite honest, he's out for 4 to 6 weeks with a knee injury as well. I just don't think he's fitted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system, Alexis Sanchez, to be quite honest with you. So I think Sanchez is on his way out of Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, and he's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal. He's age 30 now. He's lost that yard of pace as Sanchez, but he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. So Manchester United, could consider, getting rid of him in the summer as well. And of course, he's our highest paid player, so potentially, we do want to try and see the best of him. His form has not been rejuvenated. I don't know why he just failed to make an impact, and I think Solskjaer's lost trustworthy in him, and he's lost faith in Alexis Sanchez. And throughout his playing career, he has been a good player. He's grown and developed fantastically well, but he just hasn't done it at Manchester United, and he's suffered quite a few injuries. He's lacked goals, and he just hasn't done at Manchester United, I'm afraid. And, Darmian's just recently got back in training as well. I think he's on his way out of the club in the summer. I think Valencia's definitely on his way out of the club in the summer as well, after we've opted, to give him that new 1-year extension. Of course, he's been here since 2009 as Valencia. So this is what, his 10th season now with Manchester United, as I said. So I think Valencia's on his way out of the club in the summer as well. But yeah, that's mainly everything to update. So I wanted to update you on in relation to Philippe Coutinho. There has been narratives going on about it in the January window, but in the last couple of days, there's been more rumours going on about it that he's linked with a summer move to Old Trafford. Reports do say he's been in contact with Man United players, and reports do say that he wants to make a return to the Premier League as well as Philippe Coutinho. So Man United, may go for him in the summer, possibly, to be quite honest with you as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing to my channel as always, and take care.